Shanti, everyone. So, as always, every Monday we have a special guest speaker, and one of the main thing that I want to bring to your attention when we are having this session, this is not just a Gyan session where we have a lot of sessions where uh, Baba has talked in depth on different gyan and what to do and how to do and all of the stuff. So one of the main things when we go through this process is especially when we try to recognize who we are and how do we recognize that we are the spiritual beings, especially coming from a physical consciousness, and especially when we think about um, something which you cannot prove with the physical mindset, right? But some part within us makes sense that our thoughts are not physical, our emotions are not physical, but they mean a lot for us. And how do we comprehend? And to some logic says that we supposed to be some spiritual being, but when it comes to the knowledge that you are these divine beings, you are deities, and you are not just deities, you are the emperors in the deity in the golden age. To comprehend things like that, something within our sanskaras does not resonate, saying that, am I really that? But Baba comes and tells that, oh, you are this deities, you are the most powerful ones, you are the ones who are worshipped in the temple and things like that. And Baba tells, like, how do you restore that thing? But again, unless we experience for ourselves, we will not know. Sometimes to ignite this memory, to reignite our awareness, when we listen to somebody else's personal journey, personal experiences, something within us starts resonating within us, and then we can tap into that, what resonates within us, and then we can take it a little forward. And one of the, on the same lines, today's topic is very much in lines of importance of blessings in Brahmin life. And blessings are not just having good wishes for one another, not just having good wishes for one another, but also it is to go beyond good wishes, which means we can resonate with them, we can empathize with them, but also uh, we uplift the divine sanskaras in others, right? Especially when we exercise the divinity, each one of us are unique to some extent, especially when we exercise that and somebody else resonates with that and then responds to the goodness in us, that uplifts the spirit within us. And it takes us to the next level. And especially when you listen to Baba's Mullis, where when Baba talks about Dadi Prakashmani, Baba talks that Dadi Prakashmani reached her elevated stage with the power of blessing from her selfless service and her love for the family, and she goes out of her way to to support the family and to uplift the family, and then the blessings that comes in response has taken her to where she is right now. So, without any further ado, I would like to invite Brother Ricardo just to quickly give you some little background about Brother Ricardo. He has been practicing this for over 23 years, and he came across Sister Rosalind in Hawaii, and that's where he came across Brahma Kumari. And today we have with us in the gathering Sister Rosalind. So maybe when she gets a chance, we will turn her to the camera.
Mhm.
Um, but Brother Ricardo is serving in Brazil, in São Paulo, one of the main centers where Brother Ken and Sister Luciana used to stay. Now they are currently in the retreat center. It's a very critical role. And then I know Brother Ricardo from some of the projects that are connected through IT and things around that area. So he's one of the sweetest brothers. He wins a lot of Brahmins' hearts, and then he is the right person to talk about this very topic on how to win over Brahmins. The power of blessings is winning over Brahmins. So without any further ado, I invite Brother Ricardo. Welcome.
Okay, thank you, Harsha. What a responsibility.
Yeah.
So after such an introduction, what a responsibility to speak now, but let's see how it flows. Thanks, Harsha, for the invitation. He was I'm here in Madhuban now. For me, it's 8 a.m. For you, it's evening time of Monday. And right after this meeting, I'll be taking the taxi to go to Shantivan for a meeting that will take place there. But it was very special to receive this invitation to think about this topic. Harshabai suggested some questions for me to reflect about before talking today. And some of the reflections were related to the beginning of my Brahmin life, how I came into this knowledge. So I thought about sharing a little bit of this before going deeper into the proposed topic. So the first time I get in contact with Brahma Kumaris was in 1997. I was living in Hawaii. I was having a gap year. I had just begun university at that time. I'm graduated in economics, but at that time I was in my second year actually. And then I was in Hawaii. Besides surfing, I was also working for Pizza Hut and doing some labor jobs in order to keep myself there. And in the middle of the year, one of my roommates where I was, he said he was attending some meditation classes in Honolulu, and then I came to know Sister Rosling. I went with him one day. But the only thing I remember, I remember she gave me some explanations. We had a meditation experience, but due to various reasons, I didn't come back there in the following weeks, months. But 2 years later, when I was in São Paulo, living with my Lokic family, I was looking for a volunteer service. Yeah, I wanted to do some volunteer job. And then I went to a hospital. And in order to be a volunteer in that hospital, to tell stories for sick children, I was supposed to do 2 courses at Brahma Kumaris. That hospital had a partnership with Brahma Kumaris. So I did the positive thinking course and the time management course. And it was very special. And from those, I did the Raj Yoga course, and I got engaged in the center activities. Then I went to some time later, I started attending Murlis, even though I was not regular in the beginning. But as time went by, I got more engaged, and it was very special. And now talking specifically about this topic of blessings, surely in the beginning, first year, especially, you receive such a support from Baba in various ways, from the Brahmin family. And what happened is that when I truly, I dove into it deeply, in this knowledge, in following all the principles, diet, relationships, purity, so on and so forth, It was definitely a life-changing experience in terms of uh, what was happening before and what was happening from then onwards in terms of interaction with my Lokic family, my experience in the university. At that time, I used to work full time during the day in an internship, and in the evenings I would go to the university, and the classes would go till 11 p.m. every day. But I remember something that I got so merged in the knowledge, in yoga, in meditation. Then I would look at my Lokic job and say, what am I doing here? This is not so important. What is important in life is that I'm light, God is light, you know. I'm a dot, God's a dot, and a full stop for everything else. And even in my Lokic relationships with, especially with my parents, I used to live with them. When I changed my whole diet, and no one in my family adopts this kind of diet, and there were some questions from them. Yeah, oh, you spent your whole life doing this, now you are doing that, and so on and so forth. But at some points, I remember I would be a little bit strict on my position. Not that we don't have to be strict, and for sure we don't have to let go of the principles, but maybe in the way to communicate, to approach them. And as time went by, I realized that maybe with other words, but I was not receiving the blessings that I could be receiving in terms of relationships and also in my professional activity. And with Murli's relationship with elder Brahmins, more experienced Brahmins, I came to understand a little bit better about this importance of blessings in Brahmin life. And one special teaching that started making a lot of sense for me at some point was that one of the bases for receiving blessings in our interactions is to keep a balance, to keep a balance between your spiritual development and the fulfillment of your responsibilities. This is a major thing, and from that time onwards, I started to pay more attention, to be more patient when talking to others, even though I was not very interested in the news of the world and what my parents would bring the news that such and such a cousin got married, my uncle traveled to Europe, and this and that. I would listen, but with more patience and respect. I started making this effort. And a special teaching from Baba, from the Raj Yoga, that made a lot of sense for me at that point was that one of a very special service that can be done with the Lokics is through our presence, through our dharna. Maybe they are not open to listen about the soul, mind, intellect, sanskars. Maybe they will never try to understand the cycle. Maybe they will not understand Parandan, all the titles of Baba that we hear in the Murlis. But if they start feeling some good virtues through our company, maybe something good can happen. Yeah. And it was nice that my mother, she did the foundation course more than once. Actually, she and my father, they went to the retreat place a few times. My older brother also did the foundation course. Surely they never became what we call an advanced student. They never came to Murli. But even though a better feeling of respect and harmony was built in that relationship, different from the initial moments. And another thing that I was thinking based on this experience related to blessings, based on keeping a balance, is the balance between serving others and serving our own selves, especially when we started attending centers and we start to cooperate in different tasks. In my, I can say, based on what I experienced at first, I started doing everything. Do help you with this, help you with that. Call me Thursday evening, I'm present. Sunday morning, I'm present. Saturday afternoon, okay. But at some point, I started saying, oh, I'm being a little bit careless with my own duties. Maybe I'm not organizing things at home. I was not. I was forgetting some assignments, some responsibilities, and another thing was that I felt I was being careless in taking care of the body in terms of a minimum amount of physical activity, some sport activity that before I used to practice so much. And I was feeling that it was not good. Okay, externally you may be in the moodly, attending classes, doing traffic control, even in meditation, everything seems nice. But if there is this gap on the background, something will be missing, and this was my experience. So from that time onwards, I restarted doing sports, like I like to run, I like to swim. Definitely not in the intensity as I used to, but in a minimal amount so that I could feel my body fresher, healthier. So I came to learn that this balance between service and self-service is quite important, as we are taught by Baba. But I had to learn this in the worst way by not paying attention at first. Another thing that related to service that I was thinking, and it's related to blessings, is that the more virtues we express while in service and interaction, the most blessings we tend to receive in our interactions. Because sometimes externally, the service activity may be very accurate and efficient. But if while I'm in that activity, if for some reason I lack in terms of patience when I was supposed to be patient, or maybe I speak with someone with some, I don't know, harsh words, and rather than showing understanding and peace, the service is there, the activity was accomplished, but sometimes something is missing. So I'm saying this, not that I have all the mastery over that. I became perfect. Definitely not. I do feel myself as a learner in all this process, but these are some realizations I came to have. Another aspect that it's based on Baba's teachings, but definitely is related to blessings. It sometimes appears in Murlis, but the more we show regard for our seniors, the center coordinator, the regional coordinator, everyone, and even though sometimes they may be speak something not so accurate about something, but despite of everything, we are able to show this regard, this respect. Definitely there are many blessings. Not that, of course, regard and respect is for everyone, no? For seniors, for those who are with us, those who came after us. So, but this regard for Baba, for seniors, is very important to show this obedience. Let me just check my my notes here. Yeah, I'm sharing some thoughts, and as I'm sharing, if anyone, whomever wants to make a question, to bring a comment, a different point of view, or ever, or complementary point of view, just feel free to do it. I don't know if they can open the mic or even writing on the chat. And sorry, okay. And related to this thing of balance, as a term that Baba used many times in Murdis, is, I think, the best way to receive blessings, as Brother Harsha spoke in his introduction, is connected to what I provide to others. Okay, one thing is that sometimes we expect many others to treat us well, give us regard, and so on and so forth. But through my behavior, through my interaction with others, what have I been provided? To which extension have I myself become a good company for others? Yeah. So many times Baba speaks in the Murdis that the good company takes us across, and the bad company drowns us. But there are always two sides: what we expect from others, but what am I providing? What am I offering? So this ability, this intention to, no matter what, how can I give some kind of positivity, happiness to others in a way or another? How can I give blessings to others? Through our actions, through our words, but the deepest and the subtlest way is through our feelings and thoughts, in our meditations, weekly meditations, daily meditations, dedicate a little bit of this meditations to view the best version of the other people, of see the others in their light form, sending pure feelings, acceptance feelings, even though we are not gods, to try to see others as God see them. And this is something from some time I've been trying to practice. It brings some positive feelings when we are interacting with them. It helps us to go beyond some minor issues that may take place in service interactions, in our relationships. And anyway, I think when we start attending meditation classes, doing the course, and then we come to the Murli, maybe we have a vision that's like this, what this path is about. But as we move further and we see that's much larger, is something for our whole life. And some people who start doing the course sometimes may think that, oh, now I'll meditate, I'll no longer have any challenge, I'll no longer have any issue. But sometimes it's different. It's like when you decide to transform yourself, to grow as a practitioner of meditation, you become a Brahmin, a BK. It's like tests still come, but what may change over time is the way we respond to these challenges. Like Baba used the different terms in Buddhism: Maya, Ravan, whatever, so on, obstacles, so on and so forth. But what I've been checking more deeply lately is how fast am I being able to respond to these obstacles which come. Which new answers am I being able to provide to overcome these different challenges that come, and they will still come. Otherwise, we would be already karmatit. They are part of the journey. Yeah. Okay, these were some of the initial thoughts I had to share. I don't know if anyone would like to bring something. For me here in Gyansarova, it's 8:30 a.m. I know for you it must be around 7 p.m., I believe. For some, depends on the area where each one is. Yeah. So, Harsha, bye. Does anyone would like to
Claudia,
share?
would you like to?
I have a question. Om Shanti, so nice to see you, Ricardo. And
Hello.
I cannot be there, but at least I can have you talking to us. Can you hear me? Is that okay, my talking? Yeah.
I think there's something with the speaker here in the room. I am in Gyansarova, and I'm by myself right now.
I think at my cell phone, maybe it's going to be easier to understand.
I can hear you, but the audio comes with some noise. Anyway.
So, Brother Ricardo, should we put it in the chat? Is that
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
I think it's better now, Claudia.
Just put in the chat. Yes, I'll send a message in the chat.
Okay.
So I'll send.
So while Claudia is writing, if anyone wants to share, but another thing I'd like to share regarding that first aspect I mentioned about the balance of our responsibilities, our assignments related to Lokic job. I believe most of you are engaged in one kind of job or another, but after that realization I went through, I realized that even though we have the knowledge that the world is ending, destruction will take place, and this and that, we are still in the society, we are in the world, and the more quality we bring into our professional activity, the more we'll be able to bring others closer to spirituality. Otherwise, people may say, oh, that person's too spiritual for me. He's in another world. But the more people are able to see that you are in the world, fulfilling your responsibilities with quality, accuracy, and other things, people might feel, oh, even though he or she dedicates he or her life to such and such a path, he's able to bring benefit to the company, to the organization, so on and so forth. So this was a realization I came, and so interesting that after some time in 2005, after these various realizations and experiences, I was invited to serve full-time in the National Coordinating Office in Brahma Kumaris in Brazil, responding to Brother Ken and Sister Luciana. And in a way or another, Baba and Brahma Kumaris became my school, my family, my work. And anyway, yeah. So since I stayed full-time, I became full-time engaged in service. So there are already 17 to 18 years. But anyway, just as any other organization, we have our challenges, we have our opportunities to learn, and things move on. Let's see what Claudia wrote here. Claudia wrote, as much as I see, you are very quiet and accurate. Can you explain what it has been with Ken, helping with him? Uh, okay, I'll answer Claudia's question, and I saw that Harsha also put a question on the chat. So yes, it's such an experience working with Brother Ken and Sister Luciana. They are my immediate seniors. Brother Ken with, who knows, 47 to 48 years in Guyana, Sister Luciana 43 to 44 years in Guyana. It's definitely a great learning, many learnings without words, just by seeing the behavior. Brother Ken seems to be, he's more quiet. He's someone who doesn't look his message so much, email message, and especially WhatsApp messages. It's not part of his day-to-day activity. So I'm used to, and he doesn't live anymore in São Paulo. He lives in the retreat place, 3 hours from São Paulo. So I'm used to almost daily, when there is some special aspect to be talked about, I have to take my phone call him. Ken, have you seen that message? Normally the answer is no. Then he say, okay, let me see now. Then Luciana is quite the opposite. She's totally online from 5 a.m. to 9 p.m. We are receiving messages from her and this and that. Normally it's the opposite. Sometimes she calls us and say, oh, you haven't answered me yet. Can you see that message? But then I say, no, but that message was before the Murli class. I was preparing for Murli class. Okay. But anyway, they have they have different approach. But definitely I can't say that heaven on earth was not yet established. So definitely there were some challenging moments in our relationships. And I'm speaking specifically my relationship with them. Yeah. And in any kind of relationship, there were the highs and lows, the special moments and the challenging moments. And I may say very challenging moments. One happened 10 years ago that I said, no, from now onwards, I will no longer serve in the National Coordinating Office. I resign my position. Then I send a message to the board members, to some coordinators. I even contacted Mohini Didi and Jayanti Didi, and this happened. Like that some years later, I would see my situation and say, okay, just like a small child behaving with their parents. But, and for some time, I even quote my activities in the National Coordinating Office. It happened. And, but 1 year, sometime later, in a way or another, I was again in the same room with the same computer, responding to the same senior teachers. And then 2023, I'm there and I'm traveling with them to India, and we are here and life moves on. So a great learn that we have, I think, in Brahmin life as we go deeper in some relationships is this aspect of, I think it's from yesterday, Murli. No, from Monday's Murli. You are on Monday. From Monday, Murli, in the blessing, to let go in order to be free, like I at some point in the midst of that situation, I came to the realization that for how long will I keep carrying this burden of accusing them of this, and that? For how long will I keep this heavy weight of I feeling I am the right one, and they may have said or done something I didn't accept? And from that time onwards, I started to look more to my side. What's my responsibility? What's my part in this process? to become less judgmental, to be able to let go a little bit. And in parallel to that moment, we started the interaction was enriched once again, rebuilt once again. And anyway, things move on. We do see like there is that slogan, that expression that time heals all wounds. And there is a lot of truth in that. Time helps in terms of our maturity. Time helps in order to use different glasses to reinterpret situations. And I feel that from both sides, everyone had to review their positions, their attitudes, including myself, definitely. And it's good. We go through some situations in life, and then we are able to share with others what we experience. And anyway, but I do have a good relationship with them. They are my senior teachers. At some moments, they become my father and mother. At some points, my brothers and sisters in service. And things move on, Let's see it. Harsha Bai said here, what's the best way to give blessings to others and to our own self in our routine life? I think it starts with the blessings for our own selves, like our daily timetable. We have that moments in our agenda in which we say, I am the priority. This time is for me, like morning meditation, pauses during the day, evening meditation. And also things like, I think it's a way to bless yourself is to have a physical activity, like go for a walk, go ride a bicycle, things like that. Not that I have to become an Olympic athlete, but the least amount that enables me to keep my health fine and well. Yeah, and all of us know about the importance of physical activity in terms of releasing good hormones like serotonin and others that brings a good feeling inside. And I think these are ways, I think, to bless yourself among others. But to bless others, I think related to what I've just said, not to judge a person just by a photograph, what I see at this moment, but to realize that everyone has a past, everyone has a future. Baba's vision on everyone is of the three aspects of time. He's never fixed in one single moment of that soul. And he is not fixed in one single moment of my life. He knows my history, and he inspires us to look in the same way. I think as we transform our vision over others in this sense of seeing more than as a present situation, this is a way to bless others, I believe. And of course, other things, give regard, being understanding, so many qualities Baba talks about, he teaches us every day. But this, I believe, it starts with our feelings and thoughts. And then, from then, only then it goes to words and actions. Yeah. Let's see, who else? How to best imbibe Baba's daily blessing in the Murli. Achan. Yeah, the topic today is on blessings, and every day in our Murlis, Baba has the blessing. And I like the blessings because it brings this blend of the Sakar Murlis with the Avyakt Murlis. You know? In the beginning, in Brahma Baba Sakar time, there were only the Sakar part of the Murli. Then I believe it was in the 70s with Didi Mohini. Initially, they started choosing some excerpts from Avyakt Murlis, and they would put these excerpts in the form of the blessing and the slogan. And I feel it's, for me, what I like to do, it's when I read the blessing, I like to read not only when I listen in daily Murli, but I like to revise once, twice, and keep with me one sentence that touched me the most. For instance, from this Monday's Murli, I like this sentence, to let go in order to be free. I think this sentence itself was so clear, so deep, and during the day in different moments, I revised. Yeah, I'm here in Madhuban, so it's especially a nice place for that. In the afternoon, I had a tea in Pandav Bhavan, and based on that sentence of to be free, to let go in order to be free, I wrote a long letter to Baba, like realizing my behavior with my relationships, in service, in my different interactions, what I was still holding on internally in terms of my feelings towards myself, towards others. And what I think it's in the same Murli Baba says, to donate the negativities to Shiv Baba. So I prepared this letter to Baba. I went into Baba's room and I put the letter there. But even though when I'm in Brazil, I'm not in Madhuban, I have this habit to, based on some points of the blessing or other points of the Murli, write down a letter to Baba, really thinking that he's listening to me. And then after that, I meditate, and just like I surrender my feelings to him, then I can throw away that sheet of paper. No one has to know about it. And it's interesting that in the following day or during that week, sometimes Baba brings some answers in the Murlis. Okay. No more questions. But one thing, I know that these meetings you normally have take about 1 hour, 20 minutes. But I mentioned to Harsha Bai beforehand that I have to go to Shantivan today. So I can have more 10 to 15 minutes. Okay. But does anyone, blessings upon, there's a song. Yeah. Blessings upon blessings. CA Manes. CA Manes. I don't know who he is. Okay. Dancing in Peace Park, Madhuban. Acha. Obrigado. Thank you for sharing. Enjoy Madhuban. Good. Well, it's interesting here in Madhuban that those who had the chance to come years before, no, we no longer have the main daddies, and nowadays even the main regional coordinator seniors like Mohini Didi, Jayanti Didi, Sudesh Didi, Vedant Didi, Nirmala Didi, they are around, but they are so busy in meetings, and they have to go to Shantivan to meet the Indian teachers. They are able to give one class one day, and then it's different. It's a different experience. You know, in the past, for instance, you would have a class, then you would be able to to arrange a meeting, you would, and to share your experiences. Sometimes it's even possible, but it seems that more and more they have less availability for this. They meet generally, and what my effort here has been to, based on daily Murli, get the best reflections I have, to churn with other BKs, and for sure there are classes and everything, but we have to become, at least it was my feeling, less dependent on the best teaching from such and such a teacher, because that may be or may not be available. So Murlis are available, and they will always be with us. And the Sata region and Parandan are always there. So this is something that all of us are experiencing. I know some other teachers mention about that, but this year in Madhuban became very, very clear. Of course, whenever we have the chance to be with the most special teachers, let's take the full benefit of that. But before, on the background, have the thought, okay, it's good, it's important, it's beneficial, but I can lean on 100% on that, And someone else. Okay. So Harsha, would you like to say something?
Yeah, if anyone have any questions, feel free to unmute yourself and ask the question. Yeah. So in the meantime, I have a question. So, especially blessings is one of the powerful tools that uplifts us, brings us closer to our perfect form. Can you share some of your personal experience where blessing has helped you to get through some of the tough times?
Yes.
It could be internal stage that you're trying to, especially in yoga, right?
Yes.
It helps a lot in having a good yoga. And
yes. Yeah, sure. As I'm now in Madhuban, I remember one situation that happened in 2006, January 2006. It was winter time here in Madhuban, and I got pneumonia. I was admitted at the global hospital. As far as I remember, I think 30% of the lungs were infected, and I spent one whole week taking antibiotics and this and that. But it's nice, because global hospital, I don't know if any of you has ever been admitted here, but many of the doctors and nurses, they are BKs. So I remember in the first day, the doctor came, he said, take this medicine, remember Baba, and everything will be okay. I said, okay, cool, nice. But I remember the news went around in the BK Brazil, the family from Brazil, that I was admitted to the hospital and this and that. And sisters sent a message to Brazil. I remember in the following day in Amritvela, even though, I entered in the hospital, I was 40, I don't know in Fahrenheit, but I was 41 degrees Celsius with fever. It's a very high fever, and I was very dizzy and all of that. But I woke up in Amritvela the following day. I was receiving so much energy. Sakash, it seems they organized a meditation sending Sakash for me in Madhuban. And I said, wow, I was in the hospital room, but it seemed like a Baba's room. It was so powerful. I said, oh, I'm fine. I no longer have fever. I don't I even felt I no longer needed the antibiotics, but anyway, I remained there for one whole week. But it was nice. It was a special experience of blessings that I had. Other times I had experience. Sometimes when you are in Baba service, you are sharing knowledge, and anyway, it's when we are in Baba service that we come to know ourselves deeply. At least this is my experience. When you are sharing knowledge to others, you come to know how much you yourself have imbibed. And I felt some experience in giving public talks in São Paulo Center in Brazil. When during the talk I was facing some difficulty, not Baba sometimes use the term choking. I started to choke in them. What should I say now? What? And there were some BKs watching, some teachers, and suddenly I started feeling a flow of energy in my direction. And it's like Baba pushing the soul, go. And then everything becomes clear once again. And then I said, whoa, what a nice thing I'm saying. But then you come to realize afterwards that it was not you. As Baba says sometimes in the Murdis, when the child is in Seva and there are people in the audience that are supposed to be touched, Baba gives a special help. So more than once I have this kind of experience, and it's very interesting. And it's a way we have to learn how to let go of our own ego, that I did that, I spoke such good words. But it's very interesting how Baba acts in many situations through Sakash and through blessings.
Powerful technique, what you pointed out, like Sakash and blessings are so interconnected. I do remember once Brahma Baba, and especially this time when I was there, in history hall, when you sit on the brother's side and then you'll see Brahma Baba in 68 during that time, there is one photo where Anand Kishore Dada was leaving for his operation, and then the next picture was he left the body, and then after 6 months, Baba left the body. And that night, Baba gave constant sakash throughout the night. And Anand Kishore's response was, I never felt anything at all, like any pain or anything like that. He was going through a severe cancer or something, like some painful process. And definitely it is to do with all the good karma that he has done and all the uplifting blessings that were coming from Holy Yagya and definitely from Baba, right? And it goes long ways. And Baba also always says that, like, give blessing. Any tips around what kind of mindset or what kind of practices one can do in order to get more blessings, or what is that we can do to give more blessings? Because Baba says, like, we have to take care of our own family, and when a family member is going through some tough time, either physical illness or they are going through some settlement through their sanskaras or karmic accounts, the family has to, it's within the family, we have to take care of our family. How to help, and what is that we do when we say, like, giving a blessing, what actually are we doing there? And how do we uplift, and how do we accept also? Sometimes we get a lot of blessings from everyone, but we are not able to accept it or receive the power that is coming to us.
Yeah. First part regarding receiving blessings that you asked again. You asked about that. I think that as a summary of things that were mentioned, to be cooperative in service brings blessings. To be serviceable to be obedient and respectful to others, to express our dharma in behavior, in our behavior. And especially the first aspect I had mentioned about keeping a balance. Because, giving another image, sometimes everything's okay, doing service, everything okay. But people see, oh, look at him, he is not even able to pay for his bills. How come? So even without wanting, people will not give blessings to you. Even though externally everything may sound okay, but if there is this lack of balance in the other areas of life, there will be a lack of balance. Or I care for everyone in service, but I'm not caring for my logics. I'm not feeding a good relationship with them. This is something to think about. That became important for me as well. But on the other side now of to feel we are receiving blessings, I think something very important is humility. To admit that sometimes we also need to receive blessings and cooperation with others. We are not Supermans and Wonder Woman. Okay, we have the image to become perfect. That's fine, but it's important sometimes to let go of the position that I'm full in myself. I'm complete. Okay, we are becoming complete, and it's important. But in Confluence Age, we are in a gathering. We are in a family. And if at some point I need some cooperation, it's good to accept. And based on Harsha Bai's question, I think humility it's an important aspect for this. On the other aspect, in order to give blessings based on what I try to experience, one thing is what I mentioned before, to dedicate daily, every day, even if it's 3 minutes, 5 minutes at least, part of your yoga meditations to share good feelings especially to the people we interact with. Remember, they are points of light. Remember Baba, and have the thought, may the best happen to each one of them. Even if I had a difficult relationship with one of them last night, may they have a good day today. And for the world, we don't have control of the outcome of this practice, but we can control what we are emitting, with what we are sharing. This is in the subtle level, but in the day-to-day practice, I think the main attention is to our dharma, to our behavior, which is more complex than only speaking about it. I know that there are these avyakti signals that come from Madhuban. I don't know if they are being read, but they are shared anyway. And the avyakti signal for Tuesday, that for me is today, for you be tomorrow. The avyakti signal talks about practical form. People want to be the practical form. And I think more than many times, it's very important to speak blessings, to share good wishes in words. But more and more, I think people in the world, they want to see practice through our dharma, through our behavior, through our interaction. Om Shanti. And it's my time.
Yeah. So maybe we can take a few minutes of meditation and then we can wrap up.
Am I supposed to share a comment or only silence?
A commentary would be great.
Okay. So for a few moments, I reflect about this 1 hour we've been sitting here this evening, reflections each one was able to have regarding their own day-to-day life. My spiritual journey, my relationships. What do I take with me from this meeting today? And if I carry with me a kind of personal proposal of adding a new practice in my day-to-day life, if I propose myself to add something in my behavior with others, knowing Baba is always there anytime I open myself to connect with him. He's always there to support me for each new step I intend to give in my life. Every day he gives us blessings, either through Sakash, Murli, the interaction with the Brahmin family. And so may I become more and more worthy of receiving such blessings. May I become more and more his instrument to share these blessings with others and to accept the blessings from others. So let's have some moments in silence, in deeper contemplation, surrendering all our thoughts, intentions to Baba, to God, to help me, to be with me in my following steps. Om Shanti.
Om Shanti.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks,
very much.
Baba. Thanks for the opportunity to be here with you today. Have a nice week. Om Shanti.
Thank you very much, Brother Ricardo. It was really insightful sharing, and definitely one takeaway which I'm taking away is blessings at the next level is giving sakar and accepting sakar. And definitely Dadis are always doing that. Baba is always doing that for us now. We should start accepting it and extending it to the whole family. Thank you very much. Thank you everyone for joining.
Om Shanti.
We'll see you again next